Hi, William here with the next installment of our Save the Humans game. Today I think we're going to put in the score. I was hoping to get to the bells and whistles today, the sound effects and all, but I'm going to have to save that for next time. However, we're going to have a much nicer looking game by the end of this short video. So I'd like to put a score right here at number 16, down a little bit from the top. Now I'd like to put the score here at number 16, but we have the characters moving over that spot. So let's start them at number 32 instead of 21. And we can just go into Add Char, change that 21 to 32. And then at the end of the create function, let's make our score text. This score text equals this add text. And put it at 0, 0 because we'll use the align grid to line it up. And we'll just put score 0 for now as a placeholder. And then in the fourth parameter, we can put a little bit of styling, color, and we'll just make it white, 6 Fs. And the font size, and because we'll be making this for mobile later, let's base the font size based on the width of the game. Game config width, and let's say divided by 20. That may or may not be good, but we'll test that out. And we need to set the origin of that to 0.5 because text boxes by default have an origin of 0, 0. I'll show you what I mean in case you're not familiar with the set origin. 0.5, 0.5. And we're going to put that in 16. This A grid, place it index. Number 16, this score text. There. Now, if I didn't set the origin of that, then it would place the score at the corner here, starting at the X and the Y position. So if I take off that set origin, so what it's doing is making the X and the Y refer to the middle of the score box. So I'll turn that back on, and let's increase the font size. And because we're dividing the width, lower numbers will get us bigger fonts. So width divided by 15. Here we go. Now we have a couple of more images for the game today, and I'll put a link down in the description so you can grab those from phasergames.com. There is a background and a city, and I'll just go ahead and include all these images in that folder. So we've got a background and a city. Let's load those in. And I'm going to do a little shortcut here. I'm going to say preload to. And all we need to do is pass a key, because what we're going to do is make the key and the path the same. So path equals images / plus key plus .png, and this load image and the key and the path. So now I can just say this preload to city and this preload to background, just to save a little bit of time. And just to make sure it's working here, I'll replace all of this with that same code. Now let's place the city, and I want to place that down at the bottom. But of course we need to size the city as well. Let me go ahead and place it on the screen. This city equals this add image 0, 0 city. And we need to make it 100% the width of the screen. So align, scale to game width, this city, and 1 for 100%. And let's set that in the middle. And I can just put a set origin right here on the end of where we add the image. This add image 0, 0 city, set origin 0.5. And I'm going to set the Y origin to 1. And when I do that, it's just off the top of the screen up there. So we're setting that to the bottom. So if I put it on 0.5, then it's back on here. But if I set it at the 1, it's going to be just off the screen. But if I say then that the Y position is game config height, because the Y is referring to the bottom of that image, then it'll perfectly place it down here at the bottom. And I can put it in the center by saying game config width divided by 2. I could also just say 0 and then set the origin to 0. but that's a good way to center things. There we go. There's our city. And let's put in the background. The background needs to go down first, so it is behind everything else. This background equals this, add image, 0, 0, background for the key, and we need to set the origin to 0, 0, because if we don't, images and sprites are set with an origin of 0.5, 0.5 automatically, so that's going to go halfway off the screen. Only a quarter of that's going to show. So this background, set origin, 0, 0. And we need to make it the height and the width of the whole screen. And we don't have to worry about being proportional because this is a background image, an abstract image. They're not going to see any pixelation. So we're just going to stretch it. This background display height equals game config height. And this background display width equals game config width. Great. Now, I want a point for every alien that we shoot and every human that gets home to the city. So if char is human equals true, console log hit human, and we'll do a game over in there later, else we'll get a point. So we need a variable to hold the score, and we'll put it up here at the start of scene main in the create function. This score equals 0, and we'll just make a new function called update score. And this score plus plus, and this score text equals score colon plus this score. And then get a point here, this update score. And I'm just going to copy that line. And down here in the update where the child destroy if it's greater than the game config height. If child is human equals true, then update the score. Else do game over. And let's make that game config height times 0.9. So that way 90% of the game height. So about where they reach the city. So if they get too low, it'll either update the score or the game over. And also let's go into main and change that debug to false. And also let's go back up to the create function and turn off this agrid show numbers. Let's refresh. So now that's a much cleaner game. All the lines are gone and the debug stuff. And let's see if I can hit an alien. Oh, the game would have been over if we put that part in. And I made one little mistake down here in the update score. It should be this score text, set text. Sorry about that. That's how it should look. There we go. Now we're getting points. Let's see if we get points when the humans get home. Great. Now we're getting points for the humans that get home and the aliens that we shoot. If you'd like to learn more about Phaser, including my ebooks, Skillshare, and Udemy courses, and tons of Phaser freebies, go to phasergames.com or click the link below in the description, and don't forget to subscribe.